Adding, arranging, copying, duplicating, and moving shapes in a Visio diagram is a very fundamental part of your skills in learning to use Visio more effectively. I'm Scott Helmers, and I'm here today with David Parker, fellow Visio MVP and Visio book author. David's going to give us some tips and show us some of the best ways to create diagrams more effectively.
Thanks very much, Scott. I'm going to use a typical office layout as an example here. So I'm going to go down to the map and floor plan templates and choose the office layout type of diagram here. So in the office layout, this page is already at a scale, and I need to lay out some furniture because I've got to lay some desk layouts down there for people to sit at. So first of all, I think we'll have a chair, for example, and we can just drag it out from the stencil, and we're going to give them a desk to sit at, otherwise it'll get a little bit drafty around them. So here we go with the desk. First thing to notice is the Z order, that the desk was put down last, so it is higher in the Z order. Otherwise I could use the center back and center front, etc. I'm now going to just do a multiple select here, and we can see that we have a little selection of shapes which I could move, but I'm more interested in duplicating these shapes. A lot of people might do a Control C and a Control V to copy these shapes, but I'm going to suggest to you that there is a more efficient way, which is to duplicate those shapes. Isn't it, Scott?
That's true, David.
So with the Control D, I could simply duplicate the shapes and move them around if I want to. But I'm actually wanting to create a layout here orthogonally. So I'm going to hold down the Control key, I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to then put down the Shift key. What this does is forces Visio to move things in an orthogonal nature. And then when I go click and let go, we can see that we have now created an orthogonal layout.
That's definitely easier. It's a quick way to duplicate a collection of shapes.
Yeah, and in fact I can repeat that last action quite clearly and simply by doing an F4. And I've now got 3 desks.
And it even spaces the new set of shapes at exactly the same interval as the previous.
That's right. And I think now what I'm simply going to do is to Scott can have this desk here, for example. And I'm now going to just simply do a tab. And notice as I tab from shape to shape, we get a little provisional highlight around it. And when I get to the shape that I want to select, I just press the Enter key. And then I can go in and just type in, for example, Chris, who's going to sit at this desk. Escape, tab again, select, and just type in, say, David here. So now we have a desk for these guys to sit at. Okay. Now I'm going to bring onto here some work surfaces for them to put on further equipment at the side of their desk. So let's take a work surface. From here, and I'm going to lay this down. Now notice that this shape has got some rotation handles on this, and if I was to grab hold of this and rotate it, we can see it rotates quite nicely. In fact, if I was to go closer to the center of rotation, then it jumps at a 15 degree, every 15 degree steps.
Okay.
The further away I go, the finer the control is as I rotate it.
I didn't realize that. That's a great way to fine-tune the rotation.
Yeah, and in this case, of course, I just want to lay this at 90 degrees.
Right.
So I want to be quite close to it, so it doesn't go at 69 degrees or something crazy like that. So here's my work surface here, adjacent to our desks, and I'm going to duplicate this shape. Now, again, I don't want to do a control. I don't want to put it in any random location. I'm going to simply take this one, and you can see how this can glue.
The little red highlight appears.
Yeah. Glue to the connection point. So it's now, as we can see from the little red control handles around the shape, it's actually glued to the first one.
Okay.
So if I was to take the first shape now and move it,
the second one goes with it.
The second one goes with it. I just undo, Control Z, work back, and I'm going to duplicate this again and put another one down. And to show that I can do it simply by Control D, Control click drag, I've now laid out my work surfaces.
That's great. That is a very quick way to get the shapes on the page and to get them organized in a way that you'd like. What about adding PCs and printers and computer equipment that people are going to use in these offices?
Yeah, I guess they are going to need their computers on their desks. So let's go to the equipment layout here and let's choose a PC, for example, and we'll lay it down onto the desk. And I can rotate it, as we've now seen. We can do that. And I can do my little trick of little control and layout and drag, and then do my F4. And I've now got the computers on there.
Instant computers, okay.
Okay, now, one thing I'm going to show you about connectivity
Okay.
here. There is a new thing within Visio 2010 which enables us to automatically connect shapes from what we call a quick shapes menu.
Right.
All right. You may have seen these on the process flow diagrams. They're not generally available on these types of diagrams. As you can see, there's no little blue arrows coming out the side of these, but I can switch it on if I want to. I can go to the View ribbon, click on Auto Connect, and now when I hover over and click on the shape, we can see a little Auto Connect.
Okay, so the Auto Connect is easy to switch on and off from the View tab.
Yeah, and indeed, these quick shapes that are on here are the top 4 that are on your active stencil.
Okay.
So you can easily change them. You can move them around, for example, on your stencil. And the ones that are the top ones within there are the ones that are going to appear on the Quick Shapes menu. So let's say, for example, I wanted to put down a scanner on this one. And I wanted to put down a printer on this one. And maybe a fax machine off this one.
Okay, that's easy.
Okay, so I've now got equipment connected. Okay. The computers need to be connected to a network. So I'm going to go down and drag in a hub shape. All right, and my computer's going to be connected to that.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to the More Shapes menu here, go to Visio Extras, Connectors, and the one I quite like down here is called Wavy Connector 2. So with the connector tool selected and the wavy connector shape selected, this time when I select and drop.
Definitely has nicer style. It's got a little curve to the cable. It looks much more natural.
There you go. And we've now got our IT department's layout on top of the desks, and we're all ready to go.
That's great. Well, that really gives me some good ideas, David, for creating a diagram more quickly and adding some style to it as well, just by something as simple as changing the type of connector between shapes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, David.
Thank you.